You're listening to episode 153 of the Confident Coaches podcast, the one where you stop making your clients responsible for your bills. Ooh, yeah, I said it. Let's go. Welcome to the Confident Coaches podcast, a place for creating the self-confidence you need to do your best work as a life coach. If you want to bring more boldness, more resilience, and more joy to your work, this is the place for you. I'm your host, Amy Latta. Let's dive in. Coaches, I am so excited to be back with you all. You may not know this, but this is my first podcast after my 2-week vacation to Ireland, and I am a new woman. Isn't it true how travel just resets your soul, how it changes you? Ireland taught me so much. First of all, the pace of life. Can we talk about, that's a whole other podcast episode. Can we talk about how hurried we are and how not hurried they are over there? Tried so many new things, new foods, mastering driving that stick shift on the other side of the road, on the wrong side of the car. So much good stuff. And I'm rejuvenated, revitalized, and ready to light your ears on fire. So this episode has nothing to do with Ireland, but do know that it is coming post-Ireland. And I am rested, and I'm ready. You ready? This episode today is something that I know many of you worry about, and it has come up in a free-to-paid coaching call, and I don't think I've talked about this concept from this angle. We've talked about money before. We've talked about, selling to clients in a I need money kind of energy before, but I don't know that we've really talked about how we make our clients responsible for paying our bills. It's a very specific thing that we start thinking about, even if it's not conscious. But we start selling coaching from the energy of, I need you to say yes because I got bills to pay. So let's talk about this, because by the end of this episode, you will know how to separate the energy of having enough money for your bills and signing your clients, and why it's so stinking important. So first and foremost, let's make sure that we do understand that your clients are not responsible for paying your bills. If you are operating your business from that thinking and you're like, my clients are responsible for paying my bills, we need to understand why that ain't working. Now, you can show me the facts of the situation, and it can be factually true that clients pay you money, that money is your revenue, that revenue pays the expenses of your business, as well as pays you, the coach, so that you can, and then you get paid and you have money that then pays your bills. It's like with any job, right? Like my employer pays me so that I can pay my bills, but your employer is not responsible for paying your bills. Do you see the difference? It's so important to see the difference, that there's money coming in, but the responsibility of the bills getting paid is on you, and it is not on your client, because as soon as you put it on your client, it gets into a real icky energy level, right? I mean, can you imagine communicating with your boss in a regular job and being like, you boss are responsible for paying my bills. Like, I need you to keep paying me so that I can pay my bills. It feels icky. And that feeling icky is the first and foremost reason why we need to separate these two things. But the larger reason is you are cutting off the flow of money to you when you demand that clients be the source of your bill paying. So we are going to get a little metaphysical here. We are going to get a little woo here. But remember, woo is backed by science, and it's true. Okay? That when we are like, clients are the source of my money in order for me to pay bills, we are cutting off all sources of money flow to us. We are demanding that it come from one source, and we're putting all of our eggs in that one basket, and we're putting all of that dependency on there. And again, I'm going to keep going back to how not good that feels. It feels desperate. It feels needy. It feels salesy. It feels graspy, right? So imagine engaging in a conversation with somebody where you are making an offer from the energy of, hey, listen, guys, I need to pay my bills and I'm super nervous about it. So do you want to book a consult call with me? Ugh. It feels terrible, right? And so no wonder we worry about, being too salesy or like a slick used car salesman. All those negative connotations we have towards sales come from that ick, gross energy. So don't bring that into your offers when you're sitting in front of your computer and you're writing about here's the offer I'm going to make today. Here's the value I'm going to share today. Here's the usefulness I'm going to put out into the world today. Is it fueled by this, hey, I need you to pay my bills because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it next month. Now, when we detach this, your action, making lots and lots of offers, may look the same, but the energy is going to be two entirely different things. So back to that conversation about the flow of money to you, understand that clients are one way. Revenue from clients, and that's really the important thing. Revenue from clients paying you is one way of paying your bills. That money can be flowing to you all of the time from any number of sources, and you don't even know what all they could possibly be. Most likely, if you're running a coaching business, it is going to be clients signing up to pay you to use your coaching services, but you don't even know where those clients are necessarily coming from. You just keep putting value out into the universe, and the universe keeps delivering it back to you for you to dictate that it has to be this client or this person or this person reading this post right now. It has to be you, as opposed to I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve, and that money, I just believe it's coming to me. So one of the ways, the practical, tactical ways, we can really open up the doors of money flowing to you without it dictating it has to be this client right here on the phone with you, is how have you had what you've always needed? I've shared this concept on the podcast before. I cannot reiterate enough how important it is to have an answer to this question. How is it true you have always had what you've needed? Make a list of how that's true. Keep a list of how that's true. Go ahead and open a notes in your notes app and start making a list of all of the ways you have had money come to you that you don't even know how it got there. That was unexpected. That was a surprise. From finding a 20 in your pocket to finding money on the ground, to people sending you money out of nowhere that was unexpected, to a bonus on your paycheck, to all of the different ways you have always had money that you've needed. For when your car is broken down and you've gotten exactly the amount of money that you've needed in order to pay for it. Think of all of the ways. And I can guarantee you right now, if you have the means with which to listen to this podcast episode right now, you have always had what you've needed. You have always had what you've needed. Make a list of how that is factually true. Every time you've ever gone through a financially struggling time or financially difficult time, make a note of that. How did you get through that? How is it true you've always had what you've needed? This opens up the doorway simply by acknowledging the fact that it's true to allow more money to come to you. By acknowledging that it always has. I cannot overstate the power of that. And then from there, we have this ongoing list. Even if you just spend the next 5 minutes writing that down as soon as you're done with this podcast episode, all the ways you've always had what you've needed, then you can kind of step back and see, why are you putting the responsibility of bill paying on your clients? Because so many of you, whether you are still working a full-time job, waiting to have your first paid coach, whether you've already quit your full-time job, or you never had a full-time job and you are looking for income to come in, whether you're living off of savings or the sale of a previous business. So many of us have a brain that's so binary, and then it's like, okay, listen, clients have to come in and bring in money, or I have to go get a full-time job, or for those of you who already have a full-time job, keep my full-time job and completely quit coaching. Like your brains are like, it's either this or it's this. And listen, I love a good catastrophizing, right? I love a good, let's take the worst case scenario all the way out so you know where your worst case scenario is. If the worst case scenario is you never sign a paid client from this moment forward, then you are exactly where you are right now. So many times our worst case scenario is where we are right now. Great, you're already living that life. The worst thing that's ever going to happen to you is nothing changes. So once you understand that, then you can start entertaining the possibility of other options in between. So right now your brain's like, listen, I either sign the client this week and money comes in, or I got to go get a job, or I got to quit coaching altogether. Now that is a option. But now let's open our brain, because you've always had what you've needed, even when you didn't know how. I am open to all the possibilities that I can make money, even ones I don't know about yet. There are solutions I'm not even aware of right now. And this is where you start answering all those money mindset thoughts that you have. It's possible money isn't hard. It's possible money flows freely to me. It's possible I have no idea how many different ways money can come to me. Any negative thought that you have about money, you can turn it into, it's possible that is not true. This is how we start to unlearn old money thoughts that don't serve us, just by introducing possibility. It's possible that any of these money thoughts I have aren't true. And you can keep going back to all the ways that you've always had what you've needed. It's possible that money's not hard. Look at all these ways I've always had what I've needed. It's possible that money flows freely to me. Look at all of this evidence I have that I've always had what I've needed. That's why that list is so important, is because it becomes your evidence when you are unlearning shitty money thoughts like you never have enough, or you need more, or you never have what you need. Well, it's actually not true. Here's a list of how it is true. So this helps solve in your brain that the client on the receiving end of that post or on the other end of that phone call is not responsible for your bills. Because you've done this work over here, that money comes to me, I always have what I need, and I use that money to pay for what I need. Now, we can separate that from going to serve the hell out of those clients. Right? And again, remember, your actions might look a little similar, making lots and lots and lots of offers. But instead of the energy of, I need you to pay my bills, it's making a shit ton of offers from the energy of, I'm here to serve you. I believe so firmly that I'm the best coach for my ideal client. And those clients are looking for what I have to offer right now. And they are ready to buy coaching from me right now to do this work right now. And this is that detaching the clients being responsible for paying your bills. You're doing your money work over here and your belief that clients are waiting for you over here. And making those offers has nothing to do with paying your bills and everything to do with serving them, giving them tons of usefulness every day, seeing them in your mind's eye, ready to work with you, working with you, you helping them. That's the most important work. Now, your pendulum may swing back and forth. For instance, every time you go to look at your bank account. Every time we get to the start of another month and you have to go make another withdrawal from that savings account that's getting smaller and smaller, or that sell from a previous business and that money's slowly dwindling away, and that's all you see is a shrinking number. Of course your brain's going to go freak out again. The freak out is not a problem. The fact that you sometimes go, oh my God, I better go sign some clients because this number over here is getting small and I'm getting really scared. That's normal. Of course your brain thinks that. It makes sense that it does, right? But the freak out is not a problem. You now know how to separate the two. I have always had what I've needed. Here's the evidence of how that is true. I'm open to the possibilities, all of the possibilities of how money flows to me. And I am the best coach for my ideal client, and they are waiting for my help. When you detach your client's responsibility from signing with you so that you can pay your bills, you show up so much more from an energy of service, of love, and of unconditional need. You don't need them to say yes to you. When clients are responsible for your bills, you need them to say yes. You're so much weirder and graspier and icky and salesy when you do that. But when you don't need them to, because you're open to the possibilities of all the ways that money flows to you, because you've always had what you've needed, then you can just show up and serve that human being that's in front of you. Unattached, unconditional, from solely a place of service and love. I mean, this only works every single time. So, as often as this may come up, it's not a problem when your brain freaks out. It's not a problem. It makes sense, right? And listen, we can do so many episodes just on money alone, particularly those of us who are women or identify as women or were socialized as women, and we were socialized to believe that we're not good with money, that we aren't responsible with our money. Shoot, I was born in 1974. That's when Congress finally decided that you couldn't deny women credit. The patriarchy has been very clear that women and money don't mix. So if money is an issue and I need money and there's never enough money, I'm not responsible with my money, it makes so much sense. It isn't a problem that we freak out, get weird about, worry about money. It's ingrained in our freaking DNA at this point. Just recognize that it doesn't have to be true. Learn to separate your clients and your potential clients from needing to pay your bills. These are two separate things. You have always had what you've needed, and I am the best coach for my ideal client, and they're waiting for my help. That's your work, my friends. Clients don't pay your bills, you do. And you do it really damn well. Okay? Okay. All right, can you do me a favor? Every Tuesday when episodes drop, we have an Instagram post. Please find that post in my newsfeed. Make sure you're following me at I am Amy Latta. And then share the one thing that you heard today that you needed to hear. Share it into your stories and tag me at I am Amy Latta. Share it with your audience, with your interpretation of what they need to hear from that. I will tag you in my reshares. I'm so excited to see what you create in the world, coaches, and I'll talk to you next week. Coach, it's time to sign your first free client, your first paid client, your next client, and to learn how to do it consistently and having a hell of a lot of fun along the way. This is exactly what you're going to do in Free to Paid Coach. It's the only program giving you step-by-step what to do to become a paid coach and step-by-step how to handle the roller coaster emotions that come with doing what you need to do to become a paid coach. If you know you can't not do this life coaching thing, but believing that you can do it, handling rejection, and remembering how to do all of those things shuts you down, the Free to Paid Coach community is waiting for you. Find everything that you're looking for inside. It's only $1,000. Payments are available, and then you are in forever. Visit amylatta.com/FTPC to join us right now. See you inside. Let's get paid, coach. Thanks so much for listening to the Confident Coaches podcast. I invite you to learn more. Come visit me at amylatta.com. And until next week, let's go do epic stuff.